Welcome to the Inventors Arena. I'm Ed, and this is Scott, and today we're going to discuss Scott's favorite thing, tennis. We're going to talk about best tennis inventions.
You know, the tennis world has changed a lot since I started to play in 1979, 1980, around that time. And when you think about it, actually, I didn't think about it until we decided to talk about this. I thought, wow, if I had to use the technology today that I used back then, I'm not sure I would ever win a match. The world has really changed.
Yes, it sure has. I think that was back when you and my great-grandpa were playing tennis together.
Probably so. It feels that way after playing some days.
That's right. So what are some of the changes you've seen?
Well, I think there have been major changes in three areas. And the first is the tennis rackets. Nobody plays with a tennis racket today that they used in the 1980s.
No, I wouldn't bring it.
And the technology has just changed so much. I'm not sure you would even be able to be competitive using that same technology today. It's really changed. And when you look at, you go to the store and you look, and if you don't know tennis, you say, well, okay, looks like a tennis racket. Look like one in the 70s, 80s, 90s. To what's the difference? And it's the technology that they've built into them that has really changed. That the tennis balls have changed. And most people don't realize that we don't use the same type or kind of tennis balls and the same color tennis balls that we used back then. I mean, when I started to play, we had orange and yellow and pink and white, and there were all kinds of different tennis balls, and you can't even find those anymore.
No, the only ones I've ever known are the yellowish-greenish ones.
Those came around in 1972, and that was a new advancement into the tennis world. And then we no longer have line officials on the court as of this year.
Huh.
And there's new technology that takes the place of, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So normally there would be 6 officials on the court. There's now 1.
Oh, yeah.
5 of them have been replaced with technology.
There's a video camera in every spot.
Yep.
Every line's funny. So speaking about wooden rackets, I always enjoyed materials when I was taking engineering. So I bet it's got some great materials in the rackets these days, even from the handle itself, or I don't know what you call it, but the main piece of it, and then also the strings, I imagine.
Those have all changed. Yeah, that's what I say. They have all changed. So when I started, you had wooden tennis rackets. And I'm not sure how they were made, but you could look at them and it looked like it was
Laminated, probably.
Laminated, stranded wood that was pressed together and glued and created a product that worked at the time, and nobody had anything better. So, it's like you couldn't hit the ball nearly as hard as you could today, but neither could the other person because they're using the same technology. So, that's the thing about technology is everybody using the same level of technology?
Yeah.
And if somebody advances and you don't, then you're going to be, second place no matter what industry that we're really talking about. But the rackets today are made out of composite materials.
Yeah.
So a lot of them are just strictly graphite, and some are graphite and graphene. And it has made them significantly lighter.
I bet.
Yeah. I mean, imagine a wooden club versus graphite. If you do fishing, a graphite fishing pole, how light it is. The same thing, that same technology implemented in a tennis racket. What does that mean? That means you can move that tennis racket much faster than you could with a wooden racket.
Yeah, when you come for your smashes or whatever they're called in
serves, volleys, everything. Yeah.
So it's way stronger, I bet, too, because it's just that material composition is so much better.
I used to break wooden rackets. I mean, you would hit a real hard forehand sometimes, and if you mishit it and you caught the frame a little bit, you would crack that racket, and then it's no good.
Yeah. I think John McEnroe cracked a few rackets in his day, too.
I think he got paid to crack rackets. Yeah, he broke his share of them, and I did too. But with the graphene, with today's technology, you hardly ever see anybody break a tennis racket. It just doesn't happen
anymore.
It's
on purpose, I guess.
Yeah, unless they are smashing it down. And the other thing is, they are much more powerful with that graphene in it. It's easier on your arm. It gives you some flex, but you just hit the ball so much harder than you can with a wooden racket.
Yeah, and I imagine actually just and how it's put together too, it's a more even hit too. Like when it displaces the energy throughout the racket better than say an old wooden laminated one.
I'm glad you said that because they now have in the handles, and I hadn't thought of this, but they have cushioning built into the handles nowadays, which you couldn't do in a wooden racket. No. But in a graphene with a hollow body, you can now put cushioning materials in there, and you have fewer people with tennis elbow today.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because there's a lot of what sports is trying to promote is safety, right? Whether it's better helmets or you don't wear a helmet on the tennis court yet, do you?
No, but there's some players would not think maybe I need one. So,
yeah. So, what other technology advancements are in the tennis industry that you can tell us about?
Well, we talk a little bit about the officials. So, starting this year, all major tournaments now use a system called Hawkeye.
Okay.
And it is a computerized system with cameras all around the court. And the number of cameras depends upon what the tournament is willing to pay for, but it takes a minimum of about 10 on every court. So this is expensive to do because you may have 20 or 30 courts going on at one time.
Wow.
And you have to pay for that as a tournament. So you need at least 10. And you could have, there's one article I read once that said there were 240 cameras.
That's a lot of cameras.
That's a lot of camera and a lot of money to do that. But what does that do? Well, it eliminates the line people. So your payroll is less for a tournament because you don't have to pay. You need one person in a chair, the chair umpire, and you don't need any of those people in the line now. So it saves them money. But that's not the reason why the technology was created. The technology was created because there were studies that showed that those line people made too many errors.
Correct.
And so the thing was, how can we eliminate the errors? Because as a player, if you think you get a bad call, you argue.
Yeah.
You probably have seen clips of John McEnroe going up to the chair and saying, "You cannot be serious," on a line call like that. You can't argue with a computer.
No.
It's not going to argue back. It's like, okay, if they called it out, it's out. There's nobody to argue to.
That's right.
So it takes out that human error. It takes out the argument portion of it. Now, some people like that because that's part of the entertainment value of it. Mm-hmm. But what the tournaments have done now is they play the replay of the tennis projection.
Okay.
And the people wait to see if it touches the line, if it doesn't, because you get a visual of it. Now, here's the interesting thing. The technology doesn't actually show the ball bounce because it can't. So it uses triangular projection, and it predicts where it thinks the ball would have hit. And there have been studies to show now that it is right so many times that the players don't even argue with the computer, even though it is not an accurate picture that the computer is projecting.
Wow, that's interesting science, right? I always think of related to football. I watch quite a bit of football, and they'll have the instant replays or whatever. If the referee calls it one way, and then they throw the flag in there and say, "No, let's get another call." So it's kind of like that, but it's using triangulation, and I envision that like you'd see when you're doing 3D modeling, where it's doing the calculations of the space and seeing where it lands. That's very interesting.
It is. It's changed the dynamic starting this year, and I wish the local court. I'd like to see the technology price come down so that when I play on my Tuesday morning round robin, I would like to see that technology integrated into regular club courts. Yeah. But it's too expensive at this point. So.
Yeah, you'd have to pay a little more for playing tennis in the mornings.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
So what about the tennis balls? You mentioned tennis balls earlier. Has that technology changed?
The technology has changed a little bit in that we used to have non-pressurized balls, and they have gone away. I'm not even sure you can buy non-pressurized balls. All of them come in a can now, a can of 3, which has also changed because before COVID, we would buy tennis ball cans that had 4 balls in them.
Okay.
So you don't have to chase the ball as much, when you're playing. You cannot find those after COVID.
Really?
No store carries 4 cans of tennis. They blame it on supply chain. I don't know how or what supply chain has to do with it, but you can buy as many cans with 3 balls in it that you want. you can go on to places like Amazon and find a 4-can ball that's like $50 a can.
An antique.
Yeah, and 3 balls are $3.77.
Yeah, but here's the deal. So now you get 3 balls for the price of 4 balls before.
What kind of deal? That we're losing money and we'll make it up in volume. Okay, I got that. So
That's good.
the other major thing that changed is tennis balls used to be black and white in color.
Huh.
And that changed in 1972. Why do you think that is?
For easier seeing the ball, vision of it, and safety, I guess,
Vision of the tennis ball, but not by the players.
by the crowd.
The TV couldn't pick it up. So tennis went TV style starting in the 1970s. And the first thing they saw was, you can't see the ball in there. Where did it bounce? I couldn't see. They changed the color of it to yellow, this almost fluorescent yellow,
Yes.
for TV purposes.
Wow. Yeah, that's the year after I was born, 1972. Yeah, so that sounds like there have been lots of changes in rackets and in line calling and in tennis balls. That's very interesting. I think it's so interesting to look at how technology develops and the price of it now goes down and up or whatever, and new things in the market. It's just fun to see. And it's, you really like tennis, and so I'm glad you brought this to our attention, because again, we're looking for feedback from the audience. Let us know what you'd like discussed. Scott wanted to discuss this. Yeah, this has been very interesting, really.
And it goes to show that you can invent a new idea in nearly any place.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't think about changes in a sport like that, but it's there.
Yeah, and it's like you're saying, everything. And I really was amazed. This was the first time I was hearing about a lot of the. Of course, in the back of my mind, I knew that there'd be, line calling this way or that way, and computers involved and cameras involved. But when you talk about actually how that's implemented through technology, that's what I found very interesting. And of course, I always loved my material science classes in school, and I'd sit there and look at the teacher or the professor, and he'd be like, "You really love this class?" And I'm like, "I really love this class."
And you were the only one.
I look around, everybody's sleeping but me. I'm like, look at those peaks.
That's good. Well, if you've enjoyed our content and other content that we provided, we would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to our channel.
Absolutely. And leave us your feedback, like we mentioned before, and thumbs up is always good. And we hope to see you again soon.
The inventors are